Okay, so now let's look at the quadratic. Let's look at the quadratic Lagrange. You have already looked at the linear side, so you look at the quadratic. So for example, for quadratic, our n is what? 2. Is that okay? So how many data points are you going to get? You are going to have 3 data points. 3 data points, okay? So we are looking for t equals 16 seconds. T equals 16 seconds that we are looking for. So you pick 3 numbers, t0, t1, then t2. So our t0 in this case will be 10, and this is 15, and you have what? 20. These things are taken from the table. We have been picking them away, so I don't think you'll be having problem with it. Okay. Now, let's code the formula. Now the formula, which is f of n, so f subscript n t is equals to summation so I have L I of t plus V ti. So now this is our formula that we are going to use. But n has been given us what? 2, meaning that I have v2 of t equals I summation I starting from 0 to 2 Li t v of ti. Is that okay? Means that now the formula we can write this one as starting from L0, so I is 0, so V of what? T0 plus L1 of T, V of T1 plus L2 of T, V of T2. So now this one becomes our quadratic formula. From L0, L1 to L2. Is that alright? It means that we need to find L0, L1, and L2. So that is when I equals 0. If I equals 0, I have already established that if I is 0, then I can never be equals to j. So if I is 0, then you pick the other 2 numbers that is not what? The I is not assuming. So that will be j, which will be 1 and 2. We have 3 numbers here, basically. We have 0, 1, 2. So if I is 0, then where are the other 2 numbers? That's 1 and what? 2. So this is what I'm going to have. L0 of t is going to give us t minus t1 over t0 minus t1 multiplying. Remember we said that sign here is product. So in case that since we are having 1 and 2 as our j, we need to get a product of them. So the other one will be t minus t2 over t0 minus t2. Is that okay? The I is down here. Is that okay? Then this is the jj. If you have forgotten the formula, you can refer from what we just did. Then we can also get our L1 of t. That is when I is what? 1. So it means our j will be 0 and what? 2. Because what I assume, j can never assume that. So we have t minus t1, sorry, t minus 0, t minus t1 minus t naught. Then here it becomes t minus t2, t1 minus t2. Because here, this and that is the I, and the I is 1. And this is j, this is j, 0 and 2. Now what do we have left? We have L2. L2, that is when I is equals to 2, meaning that our j will be either 0 or what? 1. So it means I have t minus t naught, that is the j. I is 2 minus t naught multiplying t minus t1, t2 minus t1. This is what we have. Is that alright? Okay. So now we have our L0, L1, and L2. So per the formula, L0, L1, L2, we have it. So we have to look for V T0, V T1, V T2. How do we get that? V T0 is equals to, remember the T0 is what? 10. So that will give us V of 10. And 10 corresponds to what in the table? 10 corresponds to 227.04 on the table, right? Then we also move to VT1, this one, which is V of 15. And that one, we have 362.78. We have lastly VT2, that is this one. That one too, we have V of 20, which is equals to 517.35. So this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, so take note of these ones, the V1, the T0, the T1, and the T2, and also take note of the L0, L1, and that of L2. I'm only going to substitute that into the formula here. Simple as that. Is that okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So take note of that. Okay, so now I have V2 of t equals L0 of t is the whole of this, right? Multiplied by VT0. Remember the VT0, we had 227, so I'm going straight, 227.04. Then it is multiplying the whole of this, which is t minus, I hope you know our t1. Our t1 is 15 over t0 is 10 minus 15. And it is multiplying t minus t2, which is 20 over t0, that is 10 minus 20. This is what we have. Then we move to this one, plus, okay, so plus L1 of t and Vt of 1. Vt of 1 we had, please remember this is multiplication, so I can manipulate it anyhow. Vt of 1, what do we have? We have 362.78 and multiplying t minus t0, which is 10 over t1, which is 15 minus 10, and t minus t2, which is 20 over 15 minus 20, plus the last one, which is L of t or L2, VT2. So the L2 we had, but let's write the VT2 first. The VT2 we had 5, 1, 7.35, and it is multiplying T minus T naught, but T naught is 10 over T2. T2 is 20 minus 10, and T minus 15 over 20 minus 15. Okay, so this is what we have. Please, when you get to this point, if you want to expand it, you can expand it, but I'm leaving it here. If you expand it, because it is quadratic, you get a square, definitely. But I'm leaving it at this particular point as my equation. Now the question asks us to find V of 16. So I'm going to simply substitute the value of what? 16 there. So that will give me 2, 2. So please, you can do it because of the space. I will give the answer straight. But you just substitute the value of 16. Wherever you see T, you replace it by what? 16. And if you do it very well, you are going to have 392.19 meters per second. Meters per second. And this is the quadratic Lagrange interpolation. This is the quadratic Lagrange interpolation, and we are done with Lagrange interpolation. So we will move on to the another interpolations. But what I want you to do for me is that make sure you subscribe and share to your colleagues.